Hi there. I'm just thought I'd just make a short video because it's actually persisting it down outside. So and my back's hurting. So I thought, what can I do? I'll make a video. And I've got my laptop back, which has needed a new hard drive, and I've not had my personal laptop for almost a year actually. So it broke about a year ago, and I've not got it fixed because I managed to get by with my phone and using my work's devices. But so I've got my personal laptop back now, so I can do more on my laptop. So yeah, I thought I'd make a video because I think that now really is the time that we need to start just going for it really, and just getting our stuff out there, doing what we feel is necessary and that we're guided to do in order to serve the greater good really, and to I don't mean sort of waking people up, because we can only wake ourselves up. I don't think we can wake anybody else up, but I think that we can plant seeds and we can be an example to other people, and we can share our views and our points of view and our values and our understanding and insights into how we feel things work and what works for us, and then maybe that will inspire other people or help other people or lead to alliances, or who knows where it can lead to. And I think that there's this tendency in the spiritual community to make people feel that they're maybe, and it's not just within the spiritual community actually, it is actually a program within human consciousness, where we actually put people down and don't encourage them to achieve their highest potential, because because it makes other people sometimes recognize that they're not achieving their full potential, and that can trigger people. And so what the programming is within human consciousness is to sort of, what's the word, like guard each other. It's like guardians of each other, to stop people from advancing and evolving. So people say things, I'm sure you've heard this, like things like who does she think she is, or what is really common within the spiritual community is, oh, they're acting from ego, and as if like the ego is something that we need to get rid of. And actually we couldn't function without an ego, because the ego is what keeps us safe, and we just need to sort of keep it under control and stop it from leading us, and we have to be the ones that are in control of it rather than it in control of us. So we do need an ego. So there's nothing wrong with having an ego. The ego is what gives us our personality. It is what allows us um, to be sort of partakers in this reality. It's what, this reality is a bit of a stage, it's a bit of a game. So you need a bit of an ego in order to play that game. And being spiritual doesn't make you less part of it than anybody else, because you're still here. So you're still part of it. Still part of the matrix, I'm afraid, even though some people would like to think that they have evolved past that and that they are sovereign beings. And actually, then they might have some, we're all at different levels, and we all have evolved in some ways less or more than other people. Doesn't mean that we're better than anybody else, and we're still all here, so we are still all part of the matrix, unfortunately. So, but we have to get on with it, and we have to. Well, my feeling is that I want to, while I'm here, is to be of service to other people and try and help other people. And so, and that's sort of been I'm a Virgo, so that, that's Virgo sign of service, but I've always sort of been of service to other people in one way or another. But now I want to sort of bring more of my own stuff into it, and sort of been doing a lot of research over the past few years about different topics around spirituality and truth and consciousness and all of that. And what I've been sort of, well, it's not just me, I'm not the only one who realizes these things. Oh, sorry, I've got a bad back. Oh. So, but what I'm trying to sort of explain in my own way. So, like I say, I'm not the only one who's trying to explain this or ever tried to explain this. It's not my original idea. But my take on this reality is, like, yes, it's a trauma-inducing reality. So we're traumatized from birth. Let me just see if I can get this in a better position so that my back isn't killing me. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's a trauma-inducing reality. So we're all deeply traumatized from birth. Even the birthing process is traumatizing experience. And I'm just going to grab a coffee. Because just the whole process of how it's now become hospital based, so it's all very clinical, and then the cord is cut immediately, which that isn't really meant to happen, and it's such a shock coming into like a big wide open cold environment where there's bright lights when you're used to being inside a dark, warm, closed environment. That's a huge trauma. So yeah, right from the moment of birth, we experience trauma, and that continues in varying degrees depending on your life path and the family that you're born into, first of all, because you're very dependent on your parents for the first few years of your life. So it depends what sort of life path they are leading. Very much you're in the hands of your parents to start with. And then, so that, some people have very happy childhoods, and some people have quite abusive childhoods, and some of that is just because of the family that you're born into, and it's just all by sort of chance, and it's just to perpetuate the loosh, or because they powers that be feed off that energy of trauma. That's their ideal sort of state that they want the human being to be in, because it creates an energy that they feed off, and particularly in young children. Young children produce something called adrenochrome, which is highly beneficial to some people who it keeps them young. And anyway, so that is like the gist of the trauma inducing it. And some people are taking a step further, and they are subjected to programs deliberately from birth mostly, where they are subjected to organised abuse and trauma in order to well, there's varying different reasons, but it could be either to serve a certain agenda, or it could be to sort of keep them from achieving their full potential, because they can see what people's potential, every human being, they've got some technology which allows them to look and see every human being's full potential in that lifetime. And so they might not like what your potential could be, so they might try and stop you from achieving that potential. And and often they're quite successful, I think, but you can also see that as a challenge. And it's easy to become victim to all of it, but we can also learn from these situations, and we can learn about ourselves, which is like the main focus really, and the main aim of being here is to learn about ourselves and do the inner work. So, and what they try to do is they try to externalize everything. So they try and take our focus externally to events or things happening around us, such as the media, music, fashion, culture, and they try and make us compare ourselves to other people. They try and instill programs to make us want to be competitive with our fellow human beings, and make us materialistic and want things and status, and make those things more important than what is going on inside. So they make us value, so they try and manipulate our beliefs and our values in order to make the external material image that things more important than knowing who we are as a spirit, and embodying our spirit in physical form, and allowing that to work through us, which for me, that is what my understanding of what spirituality is. It's where we get to know who we truly are as a spirit, and we bring more of our spirit down into our physical body and allow that to work through us, rather than just going about our lives, accumulating things and status and money and competing against other human beings, and being the same as everybody else, because we're not the same as everybody else. So kind of lost my train of thought now. so yeah, so they can see that potential. I think that's where I was starting from. And they try and thwart people who they think might be potentially able to embody their spirit energy and might be able to influence other human beings in a positive way. So what they do, they keep us sort of in this prison, really, where we sort of police ourselves. So we are locked into this consciousness where we keep each other down instead of raising each other up. And so the whole reality is sort of upside down and back to front, and it's done that way for a reason. And the trauma is the thing that keeps people locked in that mentality, because ultimately people are disempowered and they don't believe in themselves, and they have very low self-worth, and so that then externalizes itself as then projecting all their own unworthiness or their own issues onto other people, which can result in, say, bullying or putting other people down or abuse, and then the cycle just carries on and on and on. So it's up to us to try and break those cycles, and to only way we can do that is by going within and connecting with our spirit, and being willing to be honest with ourselves and to work on our own issues. So that's the only way we can break these cycles, really. And then when we are able to sort of clear out our own crap, and because even though all of those things are the issues that we have, the any emotional trauma is stored in the body, in the cells, as a physical thing. So the cells might sort of tense up, and that doesn't allow then any energy to flow through your cells freely, and it clogs them up, so that there's blockages and distortions, and it just causes resistance as well, because any sort of spiritual energy that's coming in that then tries to merge with your physical vessel, if there's something in your cells which is unresolved or is of a vibration that's not a match to the energy coming in, then that causes resistance, and any unresolved processes or issues will either come up to be healed or to be let go of, or that person will sort of resist and maybe sort of cut themselves off and not continue with their involvement from that stage. I don't know if I'm explaining this really well, but anyway. So I think I'll leave that there for now, actually.